this. Read carefully and after that think about two questions. Why I decided to show these two fragmented movies? And what is main idea related to this particular test? What is connection? Wanna have fun? Let's do this. Movie number one. Look at the screen, watch carefully. No popcorn today, students, sorry. Yes. Sound.
Play hooky on Friday, whitewash on Saturday. I wouldn't, Polly, but there ain't any whitewash. Oh, yes, there is. I mix 3 whole bucketfuls myself. That whole great big thing, every inch of it. And you don't have any straights in it, do you, Aunt Polly? Nary a one. I'll tell the boys you can't go swimming because you got to whitewash the old fins. Bye, Tom. Say, Jim, I'll fetch the water if you'll whitewash. I can't last time. Miss Polly told me go on and tend to my own business. And if I don't, she smacks the head off me. She never licks anybody. Only whacks them over the head with a thimble. Like this. Ouch! Excuse me, Miss Tom. I didn't mean to hurt you. Jim, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you'll whitewash some, I'll show you my sore toe. Let me see.
Clear the river! On the steamboat Big Missouri, bound for St. Louis from New Orleans. Let her go! Full steam ahead! Stop her! I'm going into swimming, I am. But of course you'd rather work.
What do you call work?
Why, ain't that work?
Well, all I know is it suits Tom Sawyer.
Say, let me whitewash a little.
Think I'd let a dude whitewash?
Oh, come on now. I'd let you if you was me.
No. If it were the inside, I wouldn't mind. And Aunt Polly wouldn't. But she's awful particular about the outside.
Oh, shucks. I'd be careful. I'll give you the rest of my apple.
Well, here, no, I'm afeard.
And I'll give you this, too.
Ain't that a humdinger? What is it?
It's a knob off a brass door knocker.
All my life I wanted a knob off a brass door knocker. Well, here, quick before I change my mind. Don't tell Aunt Polly. I ain't seen a thing last time. This Aunt Polly's back. Aunt Polly here, Aunt Polly's there. Well, what's the matter now? Can't you tend to work and leave a body in peace? May I go now, Aunt Polly? How much have you done? It's all done. 3 coats, too. Now, see here, Tom. Don't you lie to me. I can't bear it. Well, look. Well, I never. There's no getting around it.
You can work when you've a mind to. Well, run along and play. Virtue is its own reward, as the good book says. Oh, my sakes alive. Oh, there, don't you worry, Sydney, dear. You can put on your Sunday suit. Wait till I get my hands on that blatherskite when he comes home. Go on. Oh, dear. Oh.
Well, students, this was a fragment of one movie for minutes, right? And be ready for my question. My question is, why Aunt Polly was so surprised? Think about this question, okay? Why she was so surprised in this question? Now I give another 4-minute movie and be ready for another question.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you going to do?
Do you like this, students? Very inspiration for minutes. But what is the difference between these two movies from math point of view? Let me analyze. There are two, actually, it's connected to our test what we did. Because in reality, we have different kind of variation. And the first time, Aunt Polly was so surprised because she planned that the poor boy will walk with his fence few days. She couldn't believe it. He did it in like 1 hour. Why he did 1 hour? Because he had more people. And this movie represents inverse variation. When number of people increases, goes up. Time to perform some operation decreases. You see, two quantities goes different way. Inverse operation. We name it inverse variation, actually. So when two quantity goes in opposite directions, one increases. When in this case, number of people increase, time decrease. If you work alone, number of people decrease, time increase. We have many examples like this. You made shopping with your parents for 5 parents for 10 days. And 200 friends from Europe and Israel came to your refrigerator, and all food gone in seconds. So more people or animals, whatever, machinery, less time, it lasts. Inverse variation. For the second movie, very inspirational movie, we see what he talking about inches from the man to make inch ahead from each of these players. He said inches around us. If everybody move, let's say 1 inch ahead, and we have 12 people, 12 times 1 would be 12 inches is 1 foot. In this case, more people, more players, more distantly approaching to their goal. This is direct variation. And every time to solve this problem, you have definitely supposed to know basic of math, but you have to know. Let's make diagram. Take a diagram in your notebook. If we have variation, let me use the left part because I need the right part for solving problems, okay? I use this for solving problems. Variation. We have direct and inverse. Direct variation when two quantities go in the same direction. Direct. So one increases, second increases. One decreases, let me make this one. The second decreases. For instance, more money you have, more ice cream you can buy. More. Less money you have, less ice cream you can buy. Direct variation. More people moving by inch, more distance they cover. More time your parents drive a car with the same rate, more distance you cover. If two quantities go in the same direction, inverse variation. Direct variation. If you have different, look at this. This increasing, second decreasing. Or this decreasing, the second increasing. We have many examples of this. For instance, we show this in this. More people, less time. I'll give you an example. More people, less time. One example. So 90%, 90 of problem on this test, direct variation, and maybe 10, 85, maybe 90, and 15, 10, inverse variation. But what they do, they put this inverse variation on the test, and if you can't recognize, you cannot solve it. In direct variation, we use proportion always. I use here. Proportion. One tool. What is proportion? Proportion is equality of two ratios. For inverse variation, we use product. And product always the same. The same we name in math constant. The same. Always the same. Absolutely different tools. Before to solve any problem, you have to be smart and recognize what kind of process you have. Direct, proportion, inverse, product. I'll show how it works. For inverse, two quantities go in opposite direction. I give a few examples on this test. Look at this. This quiz I give you, it's not challenging quiz at all. Many questions from this test, let me take my taken from Mark Twain prep for his grade, if you remember. But don't worry about it. Okay. Look, students, so they're gonna show you this. Okay, this model. Compare this to, we need meshed gears. They work together. Okay. This is purple and this red, for instance. Or this green and this red. Which is smaller? Green. Which has less number of teeth? Green. Which is bigger? Red. Which has more teeth? Red. And now let me rotate it. Revolve. You see? Which rotates faster? Small, this green, or bigger red? What do you think?
Green.
Green. You see what we finish? We see that less number of teeth, faster rotation. Less, faster. Opposite way, inverse variation. What about red? More teeth. Count this with teeth. Slower. Inverse variation. For inverse variation, we use product. We can not use proportion like you did on this test. Why everybody failed this test? Because you don't know this stuff. Use the same tools for all this problem. If you use proportion, what according proportion you get? You will get the smaller supposed to rotate slower, and the bigger supposed to rotate faster, but it's not true. Absolutely not true. You see, all the small, they faster, and big, slower. Okay, so I'll teach you how to think, and this is life. And you see, every time we apply this life in any devices, I even show Google Gaga example. Give me Google Gaga examples. For small kids, they use it. I also like this. Look at this. Okay, we have this big, right? Mesh gears here, but small, and I click this. Bigger, rotate slower. Period. Inverse variation. So this is idea of this introduction. If you understand everything, we solve this problem together with you. Start solving the problem, you take notes. Okay? Good, good, good. Good. Okay. I will put an order of your mistakes here. What they send me, your mistakes, right? For instance, I try to explain all of them, but little by little. You have to take seriously notes. No screenshot, notes in your notebook. No loose leaves, notebooks. Who can read number 2 out loud? Very fast, student. 1 student, 2 seconds. Yes, please. Nicholas, number 2 out loud. Let me check it. Can't believe it. You know my rule of 2 seconds? Okay, Daniel, Nicholas, be ready. Daniel R.
Number 2 says a map is drawn using a scale 1 inches to 30 miles. How far apart in miles are two cities which are 7 inches apart on the map?
Very good. Only there are 2 inches, not 1 inch, right? If you read carefully, 2 inches. Well, very good. Daniel, what do you think? Is it direct variation or inverse variation?
Direct.
Absolutely, A plus. What is F A plus? Smiley face. Why is direct? Because the bigger distance in the map, bigger distance in reality. This is direct variation. For direct variation, we use proportions. Right here, number 2. How do we solve proportions? 2 inches. This number 2. Write down together with me. 2 inches, we said 30 miles. Is 30 miles. 7 inches, inches on the inches. I have no idea. This is step number 1. We roll proportions. In proportion, the same unit of measure is supposed to be in the same color. The next step, we name it cross multiplication. In math, we name it product of mean equals to product of extreme, or simple way cross multiplication. Step number 2. 2 times x equals 7 times 30. Now we have equation. How to find x? Easy. I take different color. And I divide both part by 2, because I need 1x. Good idea, we have different color of pen. It helps you to visualize your work. 2 and 2 cancel out. 2 goes into 30 15 times. 15 times 7 is 105. And unit of measurement is supposed to be taken from this column, miles. And check mark. If you have any question, ask me. Steps are proportion, cross multiplication, answer. But actually, before pre-step, you have to recognize either this tool or this tool you're supposed to apply. If direct, use proportion. Ask me questions if you have. No questions. Raise your hand who understand everything. 2 seconds. Eric, Emin. Look back. You know
I have a
progress?
question.
Yes, please, Daniel.
What would be more efficient, a table or this? Because this seems faster.
What do you mean table? Writing table for this problem?
Yeah,
No, this is more efficient.
okay.
I give you why we're supposed to use nice tools. Because take a look. On the test, you have 57 questions for 90 minutes. If you don't use proper way, you never win. You never finish test on time. My students, they just finish for 31 minutes instead of 90. Because they use efficient way. This is, I give you everything the best. This is the best way. Okay, more questions? No questions, okay. Good. Number 3, Daniel T. Number 3, out loud.
Alex drove 5,000 miles during the first 3.5 months of the year. At this rate, how many miles will he drive in a full year?
Excellent, nice reading, Daniel. What do you think? Is direct variation or inverse variation?
I think direct.
Yes, it is. Just be more confident. How to ask yourself, why is direct? Easy. Look at this problem. More time he drives, time increasing, more miles he covers. Time increases, miles increases. So this is direct variation. Because for 1 year, he covered more than 3.5 months. Okay, easy. Usually in problem, we have 2 or 3 parameters. First of all, I teach you with 2, like this. And after that, I show way how to solve more tricky. But for now, it's number 3. Nice reading, student. Be ready to read everybody. Randomly, I'll tell you. They say 500 miles, read this. 500 miles for 3.5 months. Okay. And this rate, how many miles will he drive in a full year? In full year, you have 12 months. Okay. And how many miles? I have no idea. Be careful, unit supposed to be on the unit exactly the same. Like robot, without thinking too much. This is step number 1. Exactly the same step you're doing like this. Cross multiplication. 3.5x equal 5,000 times 12. I take different color. And you study decimals in 4th grade. Divide by 3.5. So far so good. Cancel out. My suggestion, I showed way how to do it without mistake. I take different color. If I multiply by equivalent fraction, 10 over 10. Why? It's kind of 1, but on the other side, I want to get rid of these decimals. I show how to count faster. And what else have? I have 5,000 times 120, since I multiply by 10. And this will be 35. You don't have decimals, and you can easily simplify, for instance, by 5. Can I? Yes. This is 7, and this 1,000. After that, multiply this by this, divide by 7. I will show result since we're supposed to move forward. And the result will be 17142, about 85, and unit of measurement, miles. Compare these two problems. They look like different, but from point of math, they have exactly the same tools. Proportion, cross multiplication, find x. This was number 3. Okay, number 2, number 3. Okay, number 6. Who will read number 6? Number 6, somebody else. Emin, number 6.
Number 6 says, how many peers can be bought for D cents if M peers cost K cents?
Excellent. What do you think, Emin? Is this a direct or inverse variation?
I think this is inverse variation.
More money you have, less peers you can buy, or more?
Oh, no, sorry, it's a direct variation.
Absolutely. You see how easy it is? Just check yourself. Obviously, more money, more peers, more ice cream. Since this is direct variation, we use the same tools. And for number 6, I use this space. Use exactly the same, only keep in mind. In this task, we have a lot of questions with parameters, with variables instead of numbers, because you're not fourth grade, you're not Google Gaga anymore. They give you variables, and you will be very strong in this case. But the idea behind this is the same. How many peers? He said M peers cost K cents. How many peers can be bought for D cents? Cents and the cents. I have no idea how they have. Can you see Kamalana is the same step? What is the next step I'm supposed to do, students, after I wrote proportion? How we name the thingy? Who will help me with this?
Cross multiplication.
Absolutely. Look at this. Number 2, thank you. XK equals to MD, medical doctor. M times D. If nothing written, is multiplication. You know this is the same. After that, I take different color and I divide both part by how to find X. Inverse operation, divide both part by K. KK. And this also. MD, okay. Not subtract. MD divide by K, because division by K is inverse operation to multiplication. 3 different problems, the same steps. It's like in wrestling. If you know this move, Bellnitzer, right? You study how to kick one person. You can take for any, apply this method for any person. Okay, next is, it was number 6. I cross it out. Number 7. Aneta?
How many gallons of paint must be purchased to paint a room containing 750 square feet of wall space if 1 gallon covers 250 square feet?
Well, very good reading. What do you think, Aneta? This is direct or inverse variation?
I think it's inverse
Prove it.
because the more paint. Actually, no, I think it's direct because the more paint, the more square feet you can paint.
Put A and 3 pluses. A plus plus plus. Very good. Simple. More area is supposed to paint, more paint supposed to buy. Otherwise, so to build in Manhattan, skyscraper will have just tiny piece of paint. No. More area, more paint. Direct variation, proportion. So let's do this. Number 7. I use this space. Number 7. They said, what is it? 1 gallon can cover what? 250 square feet. And they ask you how many gallons? 750. Square feet are the square feet. I have no idea. Step number 1. What is next step, Aneta? 2 words.
Your next step would be cross multiply.
Cross multiply, absolutely. Very good. You see how easy it is? Step number 2. Write all these steps exactly the same manner. X times 250 equals to 1 times 750. Divide by 250. Divide by 250. Cancel, cancel. 250 goes to 750 3 times. And the answer will be 3 unit of measurement gallons. Was it difficult? Who understand up to this point, raise your hand. Somebody not raising hand? What about to look back? You know how to raise hand? In this platform you came later. On the right part of your screen, we have icon, hand. Just click on this hand. This icon. Yeah, A+, very good. And click again, hands down. So far we solved this problem. And if you see this, every problem can be solved actually for 30 seconds, even less. Because 2 steps. Okay. Good. Let me erase this. I need more room. Sometimes they give you kind of equation, which also represent proportion, like number 1. Number 1 I solved with you. I just remind you, you're supposed to know distributive property, right? Associative property, all this stuff, and cross multiplication. Let's do number 1. Number 1 is not text problem, not necessarily to read. Number 1, what is it? 3x over 5 equals x plus 6 over 2. Right, need to at home you do this many times to develop your style. Why I insist on this? This is my profession. I publish more than 1,000 books and articles. Right now I have some books from Singapore. This is for reference and for Edinburgh. I make references to people who publish books. I give you standards. And these standards you're supposed to digest. Very helpful. So how to do this? For instance, cross, doesn't matter which direction you go. For instance, 5. But keep in mind, when you have 2 of them, you have, we name it binomial, put in parentheses. Otherwise, it would be not fair. 2 friends, you can multiply only 1. It means this, you're supposed to multiply by x plus 6 in parentheses. Why? because it's binomial. Why you name binomial? Because bicycle, let's say bicycle, right? Bi means two wheels, two terms. When you have binomial or trinomial, you must put in parentheses. And equals 3x times 2. Let me erase it. I avoid using negative numbers for you, doesn't matter. 3x times 2 equals 5 times x plus 6. I want to be consistent. What I did is also fine. I can show a difference, not big difference. After that, multiply. 3x times 2 is 6x. Everybody knows. Distributive, 5x plus 5 times 6 is 30. I take different column. Inverse operation of addition is subtraction. I need to get all variables one side. Minus 5x and minus 5x. 6x minus 5x is x. 5x minus 5x cancel out. Equal to 30. How to check on real test? Just take the 30, plug in this. I just show how to check. Check. 3 times 30 divided by 5. Is it equals 30 plus 6 over 2? Okay. 5 goes into 6 in 36 times. You have 18 left part. Is it equals 36 divided by 2? Yes, it is. 18 equals to 18. Bingo. You solve it correct. Again, if you noticed, all this question I solve in the same manner. Only one thing. When you have binomial or trinomial, don't forget to put in parentheses and use distributive property. I know this is a little bit unusual, but this is easy. Today is the first class, and you'll see how easy you will do it in your practice. Ask me questions if you have about this one. Proportion. This is proportion cross multiplication. The same steps. If you don't have a question, can I erase this, students? Okay. Let me go through another one. Question about this movie we just watched about painting the fence. Number 5. Who did not read today? Eric, number 5. 5. Microphone, Olga, поставь red dot. Next time you have to have this. Nicholas, number 5. You can come here in a class not prepared at all. Nicholas, 5. Okay, another red dot. Samir, number 5.
Number 5 says 25 students agree to paint the wall in 6 days. If 5 more students join in before the work begins, how many days should the painting take?
Nice reading, Samir. What do you think? This is direct or inverse variation?
I think it's direct.
More people. Look at this. 25 students agree to paint the wall. If you have more students, they're supposed to work more time or less time?
Oh, inverse.
Inverse. We just watched a beautiful movie. The smart kid, he invited many of his friends. While he was eating this half of this apple, they painted everything. More people, less time. Inverse. Can I use proportion for inverse? In some book you find they give you proportion. I do not confuse you. Can you use proportion? No. Let me put it this way. Use what? Product before and after is the same, because this is different animal. Okay. Have you seen this kids movie Mermaid about this Ariella, right? They found a fork and she asked, what is it? She said, well, maybe it's comb. To solve problem, you have to use proper tool. For inverse only product. And this is one line problem. So let me see what is given. This is number 5. 25 students. 25 students. It doesn't matter what side you write it down. This is students. I just write for explanation. Can paint the wall in 6 days. 6 days. If 5 more students, now we have 25 plus more, it means addition. How many days? I have no idea. Product. Before and after, you can switch different way. Only more convenient to use X left side, but actually it doesn't matter. You have symmetric property, you can switch it down there. Again, look at this. It was 25.6, and now we have 30x. Because what they said more people. If this inverse variation, use product. And this constant, it means the same. This is the same like this. Let me overwrite what I have. Step number 1. It's actually 30x equals 25 times 6. It's the same like 30 times x. Inverse variation, you cannot use proportion. I use this different color. To find x, I divide both part by 30. Cancel out. Now look at this. I'll do very slowly. 6 goes into 30 5 times. So far so good. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. Okay. And the result will be what? 5 days. Now check what you get, just logically. If you have more people, number of days supposed to decrease from 6 to 5. Makes sense? Just one line. One line. That's it. This test, instead of doing 40 minutes, you can do it for what? For 7 minutes, because it's one line. Who has question? Ask me. Somebody disconnected. Maybe not good connection. Okay, good. Who has question? Ask me question about this. So different variation, different approach. Next. This was number 5. I cross it out. Number 8. Who did not read? Who look back? Read, please, number 8.
A cartoon book can be printed by 12 machines in 5 hours. If 3 of the machines are not working, how many hours will it take to print the cartoon book?
Excellent. Nice reading, A+. Look back. What do you think? This is direct or inverse variation?
Direct.
Okay, use this logic. this logic. If you have more machine, you need more time to do the same or less time?
Less time?
Yes, look at this, what happens. If you have more machine, less time, you go a different way. I give example. For instance, you clean your apartment by yourself. And your mom and sister decided to help you. Will you spend more time to clean the apartment or less?
Less time.
Less, because more people, more animal, more machinery, less time you need to do the same job. So this inverse variation. For inverse variation, what we use, product or proportion? What do you think for inverse? Look at this beautiful diagram.
Product.
Product. That's why this was number what? Number 8. 12 machines times 5 hours. Product is multiplication. If 3 machines are not working, so 12 minus 3 become machine. Because not working, you subtract times X hours. Product before and after is the same. Since 12 minus 3 is 9, you can override this. Make it nice. 9. Fully braces. 9x equals 12 times 5. I take different color. And to solve it, I have to divide both part by what? By 9. Nine and 9 cancel out. I found x. Look at this. I do slowly. 12 and 9 are multiple of 3. I divide by 3. It would be 3. And 12 divided by 3, it would be 4. And 4 times 5 is 20 over 3. Pretend you're in 3rd and 4th grade. Convert improper fraction to mixed number. It would be 6. And 2 over 3 hours. Check mark. Compare these two different problems. Exactly the same way. Product, find x. Ask me questions if you have.
Dr. Farber, so
Yeah.
so for the question, this question, like I'm just curious, can you do the wait, can you do 12 divided by 5 and then you multiply that by 9?
12 divided by 5.
Yeah, and
this is x, right?
yeah.
Okay, why you did it? 12, you just mix up all this? No, you
No,
can. No. It has no sense. Look at the students. I explain why. What is 12? Machine. What is 5? Hours. What is 9? Machine. So you know you're taking science, you study science in school, right? I'm a scientist, a mathematician. When I create a new formula that I can Google this, nobody has in the world this formula. We check this formula by this method is unit of measurement. If I decided to study question, how many potatoes you're supposed to buy? I'm supposed to get, let's say, number of potatoes or pounds. But if I get number of potatoes equals to 15 hours, so this is garbage, right? Yes or no? Look at this, what happens. You get m times m to the second over hour. What is it? There is no such unit of measurement at all. Machine time machine. But what is it will happen with this? Look at this. How to check? In this one, when I multiply 12 times 5 and divide by 9, 12 is machine, 9 is machine, and 5 is hours. And look at this, machine and machine cancel out. My answer would be in hours, which makes sense because they ask you how much time you need. In your case, it's voodoo. Did I answer question?
Yeah, thank you.
So keep in mind, students, I teach you how to think analytically. If you put, like your parents, your mommy, if you put everything to prepare chicken soup, you get chicken soup. But if you put chicken soup, put salt, put apples in the chicken soup, plus sahar, something else, and mix it together, what will be? Garbage, right? I teach you logically thinking. I use these two steps. According inverse variation, use product, find x. Don't mix all this number together. Okay, I'm glad that answered your question. Number 9, who did not read today? Raise your hand very fast. Voluntarily, who did not read? Okay, Nicholas. Number 9. I believe you're reading, but you have no sound like this, pretend. Like fish, right? In this case, no sound. Annette, help us. Yes, I can hear you.
A gear having 18 teeth turns at 35 revolutions per minute and is meshed with another gear having 42 teeth. At how many revolutions per minute is the second gear turning?
Excellent, nice reading. What do you think, Annette? It's direct or inverse?
I think it's inverse.
Absolutely, we just showed this. Raise your hand who understand this inverse. Bigger amount of teeth, slower rotation. Yes, it is. Always remember this image. For inverse, we use only one way. Product before and after. Let me raise a little bit more room. I even can illustrate this somehow. What is it? 18 teeth. This is a small one. Number 9. Let's say this is small one, and this is big one. And this is, what is it? How many? 18 teeth. And this 42 teeth. And this is the rotate, like this way. And this has 35 RPM, revolution per minute. And they ask you, this is X. Well, since you know this inverse variation, right? You can write 42 times X equals to 18 times 35. Product before and after. Look at this. What I use? 42 and X is one object, and 18, 35 another. You can use this teeth and this revolution. No, this one object, another object. Always like this. I take different color. If you have a question, no sound, right, Nicholas? No sounds. Try to fix your, for next time, prepare or everything. Divide by 5 by 42, and divide by 42. Again, I want to remind you, students, that today is, what is it, Monday? Tomorrow, Dr. James celebrate great American writer, PhD from Princeton, and he celebrate his mom's birthday, 93 years old. All our teams, all our corporation congratulated him, and he is one of the best teacher ever for English, super professional. And tomorrow we will switch this class to Wednesday, since this exception situation. So Wednesday instead of tomorrow, you have English class with Dr. James from 4:30 to 6:30 Wednesday. Who understand, raise your hand. I continue this, just remind you that tomorrow, instead of tomorrow, you have class after tomorrow. Yes.
В четверг, Thanksgiving, мы будем заниматься с 11:30 до часа 30.
One more announcement. I will write it over there, but one more. Many parents call to our management. So if you have many students, many parents, and they ask Thanksgiving, which is Thursday, to have classes earlier in order to celebrate Turkey Day at the evening with family. And according to parents' request, we switch this class to 11:30 to 1:30. So Thursday we'll send this announcement. In order to celebrate Turkey Day, we have classes in the morning. Raise your hand who understand this too. Okay, Amin. Look back. You know rules. 2-second rule. Now, like one team, 1 inch at a time. Hands down. Excellent. Now, well, how to solve it? Easy. My suggestion: some should multiply after this and no. Simplify first. Now, for instance, I can divide 18 by 6. It will be 3. And 42, I also divide by 6. It will be 7. But 7 goes into 35 5 times. And you multiply 3 times 5, it will be 15 watt RPM. Analyze what you have. Bigger gear, slower rotate. This is inverse variation. Try to develop this. Okay, it's not weird, so just check your microphone. It happens. Okay, don't worry about it. Just adjust everything with your parents. Because if I don't check, would you like to do like this? You come here and have fishway lecture. You like this kind of lecture without sound? No. Be ready. I know we're out of time. I'll give you a few more minutes. I want to cover this. Number, who like elephants? Raise your hand. Who really like elephants in zoo? The same students? Okay, what about Daniel? Daniel R. Read about elephant, number 10.
Okay, an elephant boy weighing 2,000 pounds is 8 feet from the fulcrum of a seesaw. A group of students weighs 500 pounds. How far on the other side of the fulcrum should they stand to balance the seesaw?
Excellent. What do you think? Is it direct or inverse?
Inverse?
Yes, but you know 100% confident, right?
Yeah.
Let me make a picture. Picture, this is number 10. Elephant boy. Fulcrum and seesaw. Okay, let me make this. Smiley face. Okay, and this is center of gravity, and it weighs how many pounds? 2,000 pounds. This is elephant. boy. And this is fulcrum. And this, from this to this, we said equals to what? 8 feet. A group of students weighed 500 pounds. 500 is less than this. Where are you supposed to put it? Closer or further from this point? What do you think? To make a balance. Anybody? Annette, what do you think?
You would have to place it closer.
Who think closer? I have a question. Forget about this. You have a door, right? You have a door at your home? Let's make a picture of your door. Pretend this is a door. And it's rotating like this. And you put here. Where you put doorknob? Over there? Or over here? A or B? This handle. And this rotation to open this door. Here or there? A or B?
A.
A. Because if you during break, your parents switch this doorknob, you never open this. The smaller distance, the bigger force. So if this is cat, cat's supposed to be sit over there to make an imbalance. Pretend this is cat, because he is too small. And this is 500 people. Let's say 500 people, or 500 pounds. This is supposed to be bigger. I show one. Maybe you know him. Look at this. You know who is it? Who is it? Who can read his name? Archimedes in ancient Greek. He's genius. And what he has? He had this pivot, or this huge stick, let me put this way. And this is a globe, Earth. And this is fulcrum. Fulcrum. If he put this pivot and tried to apply force, he said, even I am not very strong, but if this, let's say, stick would be huge, very long, I can move the Earth. Because the smaller force, the bigger distance you need to move the globe. Archimedes. That's why this is definitely what? Inverse variation, students. Inverse. I put Archimedes back. And there is this nice cat. Okay. And this is X. Since the inverse variation, here's product. 500 times X equals 2000 times 8. Divide by 500 was parts. 500 cancel out. 500 goes into 2000. This is 2000. 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32 what? Feet. And check what you get. The smaller object, the bigger distance. Elephant 8 feet, and this 500 pounds group of students just 32 feet. Inverse variation. Question of experience. You will see how many problems you solve it like 1, 2, 3. Who understand up to this point? Good. And we have only one problem left. Which problem are you? Oh. Who like karate or kickboxing? Okay, Daniel T, please. Number 4.
Okay. If it takes 6 pounds of pressure in kickboxing to break a board 4 feet long, how many pounds of pressure will it take to break a board that is 5 feet long?
Excellent. What do you think? This is direct variation or inverse variation?
I think this is direct.
Who agree? Raise your hand. Let's vote. Let's see who thinks direct. Okay. Who has different opinion? Raise your hand. Who can prove it? Who is correct? I ask you a question, Daniel. Pretend this is a pen, right? What is easier, to break long pen or short pen?
Short pen?
Short pen easy, this one?
Long pen, long pen, long pen.
Long pen, yes, because this maybe you never break. Long, yes. So the bigger object, the bigger beam, the bigger pencil, less force you need. It means the bigger, the longer, less force. This is inverse variation. At home you can try. Try nice pencil made in China and break it. After that, whatever you left, try to break again. You see, much more complicated. In university, studies strength of material, special discipline for engineering. But let me go over through this. Since you know this inverse variation, because the longer object, the easy to break it. Okay, what number is it? Number 4. £6, 4 feet. Inverse product. How many pounds? X pounds times 5 feet. So key thing not to multiply two numbers, not to divide numbers. Key thing to recognize what is what. After that, I divide both 4 by 5. Cancel out. I have 24 over 5. Okay. How to divide this? You can have to either divide this by this or multiply this and this by 2. It will be 48 over 10 or 4.8. Okay. And what units? Pounds. And compare what you have. Always analyze. When it was longer, you have when it was 4 feet. When it was 4 feet, you had 6 pounds. But if 5 feet, you're supposed to apply less force. And this is inverse variation. Always check yourself. Don't be a robot. Don't just multiply numbers. Okay. Now we analyze entire quiz. And how you go? Much better? How you feel about it? More understandable? Practice makes perfect. Little by little. At home, you do all my steps. Write it down. If you have any question, ask me. I make you expert in this stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
So for these For the inverse, don't you have to like think logically?
Always logically. 100%. At the beginning, you think logically, you decide what is what. And after that, just mechanics. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
I think logically. For example, with pencil, for everything. Make image in your brain. And recall these nice exercises, etc. And there are not so many examples for inverse variation at all. You're gonna go through all of them, and you have on the test, you do like 1, 2, 3. More questions? No questions. Okay. Let me give you homework. Write it down and we send you. So number 1. Today is our the first class. 11. Let me write it different way. SHSAT group. 11, 21, 22. Number 1.